Welcome back to our coverage of the Pick Your Poison AOE2 tournament hosted by Daniela and her team. Another shout out to her and the guys for putting on this show. Today we've got another round 1 matchup from Group J, which is the bracket that I was placed in as well. So that's the lowest elo bracket in this tournament. Let's see what these guys got in store for us, shall we? Because we've covered some of the more high elo action recently. For this series, we've got comh8787 against Spiritcharged. You see the draft on screen right here. It is Nomad, Islands, and Golden Swamps as our potential 3 maps, depending on how long the series ends up going. And for the Cis, we've got a few of the usual mainstays here, where we've got Berbers, Incas, maybe also Lithuanians, but then we have Malay Dravidians and maybe also the Italians as some spicy new picks that we haven't really seen in the tournament. I don't think I've cast Dravidians especially in this event just yet, so interesting look here from one of our lower elo players to see what they have come prepared with. So, having looked at this long enough, let's waste no more time and jump into the first game between these two guys. Actually, let me just quickly adjust my casting overlay though in order to avoid confusion. And maybe I should also put the seeding on screen so you guys know what's up and what type of matchup we're looking at here. Excuse me while I try to figure this out. So we've got Spiritcharged as the number 5 seed of our bracket, and comh as the number 12 seed. There we go. We should have it all set up nicely now. Therefore, let's hop in there. Don't forget about the audio. Looking good. And let's go. Game 1, as we've already seen, is taking place on Nomad right here. Our underdog playing as the Incans. A 5 versus 12 matchup is a pretty sizable gap here between these two guys, so it's definitely clearly distributed roles for this one. Incas on the left side, and on the right side there's going to be the Berbers. They're already beginning their town center construction, so they're going to be a good deal faster with the villager production underway, I would assume. And same thing seems to be true for the dock as well. Starting to put that one up, and the Incans just a little bit behind on that. Of course, although maybe before I start talking about the Civ Bony, I'll put them up on screen as well so you guys know what I'm talking about. I was just going to point out how for the Inca, their house bonus can really pay off on Nomad here. In case you didn't know, Inca houses support 10 population, and on Nomad, especially early on, you do tend to struggle with wood, and the earlier you can start that fishing ship production, the more resources you will collect, obviously, and the faster you will be able to go up to feudal age. Especially in the dark age on this map here, you really rely on that fishing ship food income. Thus, basically the double effect from those houses with a double pop space is going to be pretty good in getting a smoother fish economy up and running. Of course, that's not the only bonus that the Inca have. Other than that, the cheaper food cost on military units also kind of plays into that niche where being able to save food cost on this map where you don't always have a lot of food, although this is certainly not true. Com has a spawn location with tremendous amounts of food, if nothing else, really. In general, though, that's a really good discount, and if you guys recall in the April patch update, the heightened food cost, especially on the Eagle Warriors for those Meso Civs, is kind of mitigated by that Incan bonus. So, a very strong Civ after that patch has received a lot of love from the Peros as well, so I'm excited to see how Com is going to be able to handle them here. On the other side, let's look on over what our Berbers are up to. That of course is an even more popular Civ in this tournament so far, at least. We've seen them in virtually every series so far. They've also got a bunch of appealing bonuses, really for any map, but for this one especially. This faster moving villagers, I think, are really valuable to have on this one, because as you saw already, there's a lot of area that you need to kind of cover with your villagers. At the early game here, of course, 5% more movement speed can help out a lot. But even all throughout the game, it might be very helpful to have the heightened mobility there for your villagers. If you want to wall up, if you want to drop forward buildings, for any use really, that can be quite good. Otherwise, we also have a resource cost saving bonus there for the stable units, and we have two very interesting unique units that are very situational, especially the janitor, but can provide a lot of value in the right situations. Yeah, I hope everybody got their good look at those bonuses in. So, about the game. We see the Inca house bonus really carrying them through the early game here already. Only the second house is about to go up now, and really was able to save a lot of wood there. However, that has not enabled him to make a lot of fishing ships, it would appear, since only one out, oh, not even one out so far, excuse me. The first fishing ship only now about to spawn, whereas the Berbers over here, really, with a beautiful fishing economy already, it's going to be the 5th fishing ship, which is on the way here. So Spiritcharged really sprinting away with the early lead there, I would guess, although the villager numbers are quite a bit in Com's favor actually, which is interesting. We've got a minute and a half of idle TC time for the Berbers there, so maybe not the best balance on the eco there, although that's sort of mitigated here by Com not paying enough attention to the villagers there. Unfortunately, ends up losing that one, and thus the villager gap a little bit closer now. Still a 1.5 minutes idle TC time. That is the difficulty of Nomad. You never exactly know what your start's gonna look like, so you gotta be adaptable and able to manage that balance well, and thus Spiritcharged is gonna be very happy having the early fishing ship lead, kind of making up for that idle TC time perhaps. Let's see, the boar luring going a bit more smoothly over here, it would appear. And indeed it does, though I have to point out yet again, this starting location for the Inca, very interesting. Lots of wood lines, incredible amounts of food here. We had 2 groups of deer, I believe, one of which has already been eaten. I'm not sure exactly why we're fishing the coastal fish here. Shore fish is a very efficient food source. However, you don't want to be walking all the way back to the town center on every trip. I don't think that's the most efficient. Looks like another boar is going to be lured here, and I don't think Com knows about the boar and the deer in his back area, otherwise would probably go for those. I think it would even be a decent idea dropping a mill, either for the shorefish or for the berries or for the hunt over here. In general, you don't really like to go for berries this early, so I understand that. You know, the zebras are within vision, so it would have been a good idea, I think, to kind of take them a bit earlier. Still decent scouting with the sheep. That is one of the skills of Nomad, is making sure that you get the absolute maximum value out of your units in terms of scouting. And with the fishing ship now as well, is hopefully going to discover that boar in his backyard and does just that. So maybe gonna be a bit smoother going forward here. Already able to click up to feudal age if he drops that second building. Oh, he has the dock, of course. What am I saying? So 2 buildings up already, is going to click up any moment here, I believe. Although the idle TC time keeps creeping up. Maybe Com actually believing that they already clicked up, and there he goes. Okay, a little bit of a lead ahead of the Berbers, but not really by that much, because really 10 seconds after Spiritcharged is already on the way. Again, that idle TC time might have cost them a little bit, but with those fishing ships was able to make up for that difference. That's 5 more fishing ships, and as both of them are kind of on the way to feudal age at the same time. Let's check out those economies. You see that's a 400 eco lead already for the Berbers, and you really can't underestimate those fishing ships, mate. It's actually just that important to really make the most out of your fish, especially early on. And thus, both of them up to feudal age on their way. Even the scouting coming out from the Berber fishing ships, you can see right here, they've got more movement speed, 1.26 on the Inca ones versus 1.39 for Spiritcharged. So it's really dashing across the map here, getting some really valuable scouting intel himself. Let's check that map vision out, and wow, that is a very good scouted map, a very well scouted map here for Dark Age standards. Look at this. I think I've rarely seen this actually. The sheep scouting is absolutely superb, and using those fishing ships to kind of get the general outline of the map as well. Have to commend the scouting here, really. And it's going to be a triple dock start here from the Berbers, as both of them hit feudal age. Double bit X coming in immediately for Com, as well as Loom, interestingly enough, walling off. So it looks like Com is preparing himself to go for a bit more defensive, maybe trying to just get up to castle age. But I wonder, there's no stone or gold in here, so I would have thought maybe Com were to branch out a little bit. Is maybe, no, I don't know what the idea is. I was gonna say maybe just planning on going up to castle by selling stone, but that would be terrible. You definitely need to drop more TCs here if you want to secure those more valuable resources that you don't have inside your walls. So town center is going to be necessary for that in any case. Let's see how Com plays this one. Meanwhile, on the other side, Berbers not worried at all about walling. They, of course, have a very less wallable map, by far less wallable, I would say. Look at this, so open at the front, especially, whereas the Inca kind of sitting in the corner here. Very easy walls with the wood lines, so I can understand the kind of impulse to wall here and make yourself a nice little home. However, you can't sit at home for too long. Gonna need to branch out and not give up too much map control, because those resources are really kind of scarce here. So Spiritcharged, maybe if he can put out some decent pressure early on and find those resources from the Incas, he can make that game very difficult for his opponent. Now 12 fishing ships he's gone up to. That's what these additional docks kind of allow you to do, right? Spiritcharged, hey, good to see you in chat here. Hey, yeah, I'll be casting the 3 games that were uploaded here. Well, if that series actually goes to 3 games, but we'll see about that, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how you did in that series. So far, I mean, you're the 5th seed, so kind of supposed to win here, you know, but I've made my own experiences as the favorite in these matchups, and yeah, I haven't won all of my games, let's just say that. Alright, I like the triple dock, honestly. It is quite greedy, and no walls as well, but honestly, it seems to be paying off a lot so far. Got those 12 fishing ships. Inca's still trying to add a few more on the 2-dock play here, but quite behind on the fish there. And you can see Com did end up going up to castle age here, just using the market apparently. Not sure what exactly they sold, because it was only 100 stone. But well, seems to be working out fine for them, doesn't it? So there they go. On the way to castle age already, but Spiritcharged is going to make it there first. And that's going to be barracks for them, and I expect a stable as well. If you guys remember, Berber with the castle age cheaper stable units kicking in there. I think that's what he's going to make use of, if I had to guess. Now, he's more than a minute ahead actually to castle age. He didn't look that big, but I guess that's just the fishing bonus here, or the fishing collection really snowballing and not being forced to use the market to click up either. It's gotta feel really good here. Got a few idols right now. Wonder what that was about. Interesting. That's the faster moving villagers there from the Berbers paying off. Sprinting on ahead, and really good assessment there from Spirit. Actually realizing that the opponent doesn't have lots of resources within his walls, at least not presumably, right? You see that he's walled in into a very small area, but actually decides not to be that aggressive with the castle and dropping it kind of more in the middle between the two, I think is the safer play, and comh would have probably been able to defend that play. Interesting decision to go skirmishers opening here for comh. I don't think he scouted anything from Spiritcharged just yet. Maybe he saw the archery range at some point. I wouldn't assume so though. Curious choice to go for skirmishes out of the gates here with the Inca. Yeah, we'll see how that goes for them. Castle up now for Spirit, protecting that gold. He's got a decent amount of map control just by virtue of the Inca being so small and contracted. But as I said, the very necessary town center drop on the gold. And let's see if the Inca, with the earlier second town center, can make use of that and boom a little bit ahead. So far the eco numbers are exactly even on both sides. The fishing differential made up by the villager difference as well, of course. We get Caspar for the Berbers. I think that's a camel upgrade, isn't it? Oh no, it's the faster working team castles. Okay, I'm not sure that is a great upgrade to get, but maybe it wants to go heavily into camel archers. That's what I would assume. Genitures out of the archery range, and I can understand that opening a little bit more. Spiritcharged saying in chat that they really wanted to try out those Genitures. I think the Geniture opening isn't that bad, really. Because you're against Incas. Incas get fully upgradable Arbalesters. It's really common for them to go for early game. Crossbowmen, that's what I meant. So archer openings, not too uncommon for Inca players. Therefore, a few Genitures at least wouldn't traditionally hurt at least. And yeah, I really wonder why that castle upgrade came in there. Castles working more quickly and then not making any units out of the castle is a bit confusing to me. But hey, maybe just a precaution there to kind of go into camel archers later. Alright, even the navy now coming out for Spirit. It looks as though comh is kind of preparing to give up the water. Didn't make a whole lot of fishing ships and no navy either. So Spirit able to get in here and try to kind of harass the enemy fish, which he is not currently found. And the monk actually comes out here and is trying to convert that ship, but no luck there, man. That was just stepping up a bit too close there by comh and loses the monk pretty much for free. Gotta be careful though if you're Spirit. You get those ships converted, that could snowball heavily on water, especially because you really don't want to make a lot of warships if your opponent doesn't do that either. Another monk seems to be coming out, and yeah, I think you gotta move out of the way here, because oh, he's gonna lose that fire ship, and man, that's a big trade-off, because you lose the one that gets converted, obviously, but then you probably lose like 3/4 of one of your other fire ships just from having to take out that one converted one. So it's really inconvenient to have that happen. Gotta pay attention there and maybe not just hit the dock, but instead try to find some other point where you can attack maybe the enemy fishing ships directly would be the angle. Lots of skirmishes here in the field for the Inca, and they're kind of diversifying the army comp right now, but the military upgrades aren't really in yet. So they've got some decent numbers, but not a lot of upgrades. On the other side, the Berbers with more upgrades here, primarily Genitures, but it would appear also some camel archers now starting to be produced in the castle. Oh man, it looks like another unit got converted here, so a lot of value out of that monk for comh, and able to defend here really without even investing into navy at all. Another monk comes out, and that fireship play is kind of backfired for Spiritcharged. Now having to defend against those monks, or micro around those monks I should say. It's not going to be easy. At least the map control is still with him, so maybe he can make use of those rests that he's currently controlling, but man, that's sad. He didn't even realize that the fireship was still hitting him and loses that fireship, although probably did realize it and just wanted to force down the enemy dock, is more likely. Alright. Spiritcharged in chat admitting right now that the castle technology there probably wasn't the best play. But hey, you know, it's a fancy civ with many bonuses. You wanna just try them out. I can respect it. Interesting. I wonder if Com knows how close the Berbers already are. I don't think they've scouted the castle just yet. Interestingly, not a lot of scouting done there by Com, and now he's gonna lose a few of those spearmen. The camel archer is at least gonna be taken out, but I don't think that's the greatest trade here. Neither side really microing in this battle a lot, but that's a bunch of spearmen thrown away, and maybe now emboldened by that battle victory, Berbers storm in here. Those are some scary looking horsemen with the spears raised in the air. Don't do a whole lot of damage there, but in bigger numbers and against the right unit comp, they should be pretty effective. This is not a good fight though for them, it would appear. Bigger numbers for the skirmishers, a little bit of a hill bonus even, and the Shanetour's got a run now. Doesn't look like they're doing too hot here. Man, now with the skirmisher numbers here, Com taking a good trade. Saying that though, running underneath the castle is going to be a bit costly. He's still killing a few of those Shanetours, but I don't think throwing away that many of the skirmishers was worth it. Still, lots of numbers dying on both sides here, and I wonder what the consequences of this battle will be if either side is going to adapt their army composition. If nothing else, I would expect some more Eagle Warriors out of Com as the game progresses. Although I wouldn't blame either player to try to get up to Imp before taking any major massive engagements. Another town center dropped, and that is super funny. Look at this. They had the exact same plan of dropping the town center in this spot. That is hilarious. Don't think I've seen that before. You saw on the minimap there for a second, it was a purple colored town center icon. And Spiritcharged finding out the hard way that this spot is already occupied. Looks like they're gonna lose villager as well. The movement, alright. Decent job there. Of course, the incredible movement speed of those villagers also allowing them to kind of get out of there scot-free. Now it's actually Spiritcharged who gets the game turned around on them there on water, having to defend against those fire ship. Again, not paying the closest attention there. That would be a shame losing another fire ship here. Hopefully they can recognize that, and now using a different type of army composition, of course, can still utilize the archer upgrades for the crossbowmen, so no tax quit really required here. And going into crossbowmen out of those already existing archery ranges seems reasonable if the opponent is going into infantry, but if you just want to kill spearmen, that would be fine. But you know the opponent's also shown a few skirmishes, and for that your crossbowmen are the exact wrong response. So I hope there's still a plan B. Maybe the mangonels themselves are going to be what's supposed to kill the skirmishers, but here is the X factor. The unexpected Eagle Scouts, or Eagle Warriors actually, coming in, and they are absolutely exceptional against siege. You can see them completely taking out everything, also countering the crossbowmen easily, and that is what Com was looking for here, pulling out the ace out of his sleeve here. Nicely done, avoiding even most of these mangonel shots. Takes out another mangonel, and that was a gorgeous trade for the Incan player here, the underdog. Playing confidently, expanding with the town centers, a decent defensive castle, and now it's actually them controlling the majority of these resources, I would dare say. And pushing forward with a very difficult to deal with army composition. Bringing out mangonels themselves, interestingly. I would have actually advocated for trying to go up to Imperial Age and bring in trebuchets. I think that would have been the best bet. I don't think you need to play an extended castle age here, especially after taking out such a big army of your opponent. Feels like going imp would have been the natural decision here, especially with that high wood and food count. You could simply sell that wood and you'd be up to imp already. That said, if you want to push a bit more in castle age, that's fine too. You just gotta make sure that you're actually gonna get to do that damage. Losing that mangonel to the castle fire is sad. Another mangonel approaching from Spiritcharged, and this could be the dream. Let's see. Bam, gets one shot in there. Now comh keeps moving forward, but moves into the castle actually. Oh, what a horrible trade. Oh god, everybody goes down in this one. Eagle Warrior raids now coming in though, and that is a pest to defend. The Man-at-Arm response here going into Longswordsman. Spiritcharged forced to do so many technologies to keep up with his opponent, and that's what I love about the Inkles. The flexibility, the answers to absolutely everything that your opponent can throw at you. I absolutely love to see it. That said, you don't want to take these melee engagements, even though the opponent wasn't all that upgraded yet. You can see those longswordsmen now really taking them to town there and cleaning up that raid. So the raid wasn't actually that impactful. Overall, if I'm comh, I'm still fine with this game state though. 90 eco, up to Imperial Age, lots of resources still in the bank. I want to see him do all the relevant techs. And at this point, might even add some slingers into the mix here. If you see that the opponent is going to longswordsman, feels like eagle, elite eagles plus slingers and some traps behind. Maybe that is all you need if you're comh. You could still adjust though. If you want Kamayuks against the enemy camels or knights, that would be another option. Going for a very aggressive castle next, and I don't think Spirit is going to be able to stop this one. Although there's a bunch of longswordsmen nearby, good job by comh to actually wall them out. So he's going to get this one up, despite that town center already having taken some serious damage. Man, it's a really good game state for the underdog player here. comh in a decent spot here. I'm quite impressed. I gotta say, this is the lowest bracket, and a 12-seeded player out of the lowest bracket playing pretty reasonably here after some troubles early on. Maybe the fish not the smoothest transition there, but having migrated the fishing economy to the south, now even able to salvage that. Let's see if Spiritcharged can sneak in there with his longswordsman. I think he's too late though. That castle is going to go up. He's going to be able to take out the enemy town centers if he so chooses. Just needs to position properly there outside the castle range. Doesn't look like he's currently microing there exactly. And loses a lot of these longswordsmen without doing the most damage. I'm not sure he's actually picked up Gambesons. Don't think he has. Also not sure if the Berbers even get them. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Mangonel's coming forward to comh now. He's getting the Elite Eagle. Oh boy, this is gonna be a near unstoppable force, these 26 Eagles. He needs to get these Blacksmith upgrades as well though. Man, the Blacksmith upgrades, all of the 4 upgrades that you're lacking together are probably cheaper than the Elite Eagle upgrade. Feels like that should have been the #1 priority there, really. Get that plate armor, get Blast Furnace, get Iron Forging, get all of those. Because these Eagles, your opponent has nothing to do with them except for these Longswordsmen. And if you bring your Mangonels, which might be honored just soon, and or alternatively some slingers, which I would advocate for, you can absolutely clean up this game. I feel like had he gone for slinger eagles now, he could end the game on this push without even exaggerating, because he has still got 2 minutes before the opponent reaches Imp. 4 trebuchets in production. This could be a devastating push out of comh, and Spiritcharged needs to get the army count up soon. Luckily for him, he's heavily investing into swordsmen, and the opponent is not currently doing anything except eagles, so he's gonna be able to defend that at least as well as he could have expected to. The Caprams as well are about to come in, but not really that good against longswordsmen. Are gonna get shredded through if the longswords make their way over. Hopefully Spiritcharged is gonna be able to realize the attack coming through soon enough, and there he goes, sends over the longswordsman. Can this castle hold up? It's on a hill. 3 rams about to start attacking into it. I'm not sure the castle is going to survive, but it feels like this is going to be a good fight for Spiritcharged to take. And the Kamayuk now as the secondary option for comh, I don't agree with really. Man, he's not really looking to take this fight, and the blacksmith upgrades lacking. This would be a terrible fight for him to opt into. I don't want him taking this fight really. This could turn out horribly for the Inca player. He takes out the castle, just take that victory and run. It would be my advice, and get your blacksmith upgrades and tech into an alternative against these longswordsmen immediately if you can, because this could turn out really, really badly. Now the fight is being taken. The Kamayuk doing a bit better than the Eagles, cost efficiency wise I would assume, but it's not the fight you want to take. Even before chainmail armor is in, Spiritcharged taking a very good engagement here and getting yet more longswordsmen onto the field. This is not what you want to see out of the Incas. I'm not sure he's doing himself a favor by taking this fight here. Longswordsman now even diving underneath the castle. I think that is a bit ambitious here for a Spiritcharged, but he really wants to stop this trebuchet play, and you can see right there he's cleaned up all of the infantry. I think this was going to go much better in Com's mind than it actually ended up turning out. And really, Spiritcharged probably better off backing away here, but he really wants to get as much of that siege as possible. Still having some trouble here, and those longswordsmen starting to get shot down. Even 200 swordsmen now and 30 more in queue. He's leaning heavily into that infantry because his opponent has yet to show him the ability to adapt. And I really am curious why there's no slingers coming out for the Inca. Would be the game winner here, I'm pretty sure. Oh boy, the Rams pushing on forward and the Mangonels around still. Another castle being dropped forward, but I'm not sure this one's actually gonna go up. It doesn't look like it. And Spiritcharged able to fend off this push as well, dropping a counter castle of his own. It's getting hectic now. There's a lot of fires to put out because the pressure is coming from multiple sides here. And now it's Spiritcharged kind of contained to this one little corner of the map. Losing a lot of two-handed swordsmen here, it seems like. But he's still got a few left on the map that's gonna take care of that siege. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from him. He's not giving up, and he's pushing the push back. Able to also take out that castle, and that's not going to go up, I don't think. The castle there for the Berbers doing a good job defending. Eco numbers good on both sides. I commend both players for not forgetting to queue up villages there. 110, 100-ish for both. It's good numbers there. Archery ranges have gone up, and it's crossbowmen for the Inca. Oh, as I told you, they get fully upgradable arbalests. But I'm not sure I like this one. I really do feel like the slingers are sufficient here, and you don't need the expensive tech upgrade for the slingers. You just need a few blacksmith ones that you already have actually. So that would have been a cheaper option to achieve the same thing. Either way, the longswordsmen or the two-handed swordsmen at this point are diving in and taking out the trebuchets, and there's still no response for Com to actually deal with this one. He's losing a lot of units here, and this game is yet again turning with Spiritcharged taking the momentum now. He's pushing onto the Inca castle here, and he's taking a lot of wills in the process as well. Man, he's gonna gain confidence off of this one, I'm pretty sure. Now even attempting to force down the castle with his units. I'm not sure why he's not going into trebuchets there. Probably would have been easier to pull off. Either way, Scorpions now the response. All of these units, crossbowmen, Scorpions, they do on paper counter longswordsmen, so I understand why he's going for that. But I feel like the obvious answer in this case is just the best. You don't need to get all that creative, I don't think. Just get your slingers. It looks like the castle was forced up on the east side here, but no murder holes means this is easy pickings for the two-handers. Oh, that's huge numbers. Spiritcharged really good job with the many production buildings that he's put up, and he's queuing up 200 swordsmen out of all of these. Another town center goes down, and it looks as though maybe the higher elo player kind of showing up here with experience and able to keep the composure a little bit better as we get into the later stages of the game, with all the action going down in the west, in the east. He's taken really good trades here lately. Now, I'm not sure we gotta actually be tanking all these castles. Again, he's kind of won the battle on the field for now, so he's in the position to put up trebuchets. He's not seen any big numbers of Eagle Warriors that would be able to snipe his trebuchets lately. Good job on Com to actually realize the opponent is fully going into infantry and thus halting the Eagle Warrior production. I think that's a good idea there. Arbalests now coming out, as I said, but they're really just getting picked off one by one, and without a big mass of them, they're not going to be all that effective. Champion upgrade finally in for the Berbers. They're actually now in the process of taking back this game. I'm trying to come up with a way for Com to actually stabilize here, but it looks like he's kind of a bit too stressed out here. He's also putting up more production buildings. He's still got plenty of resources, so it's definitely not like he's in a bad spot here and can't push this one back. He's now going into slingers. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Good decision there. If he can get a group of 20 slingers, I feel like all the champions would need to be pulled back at this point. I don't think that is the fight you can take if you're the Berbers. But for now, until the slingers are actually on the field, the champions are still wreaking havoc there in the Incan village. And the game's still looking kind of 50-50, but the Berbers still with the momentum on their side. And Inca not with a lot of slinger numbers, but he's getting them up now. And that's going to be costly trades to take for the Berbers. Are they going to run out of gold, either party here? That's really another question, because both of these armies are very gold intensive right now. Oh, is there still gold for the Berbers? There is over here. All right. So nobody really completely out of gold just yet. Or is it? Maybe comh is actually getting a bit low on gold here. So controlling this middle area here might really decide the game in the end, actually. Castle still being attempted to be put up by the Incas, but it's just being blocked, and he's not going to get that one up. And yet, not enough slinger numbers to actually beat back the champions, though the next wave is now finally able to get Spiritcharged to retreat. This is such a hectic game, and action, constant action everywhere really. The raids with the lone champions as well, yet more being queued up. Good job Spiritcharged, really not letting up here. He's got a decent eco up still, and only 68 villages for comh at this point. He's kinda been suffering really hard at the end of those champion raids, and trying to get up these buildings has cost him so many villagers. Maybe that is gonna be the deciding point of this game here. He's still got some res in the bank, but it looks like that castle going down, and yet more champions that somehow end up surviving all these shots. It looks like Spiritcharged has turned this one around successfully. And comh is now decidedly on the back foot here, taking some bad trades with the slingers against the janitors, who are now coming in clutch with the mobility and actually able to pick off those slingers before they can damage the champions. It's looking really bad for the Inca at this point. Man, oh man, that's 108 villagers to 67. He might just have done it, honestly, Spiritcharged here. Looking to grab the Game 1 victory on the neutral map here, forcing the lower seed player onto their home map early. Would be a serious a victory, setting the tone for the series. He's got to close it out though. Still no murder holes. Those champions absolutely tearing through that Incan stone. Man, another castle here in the back. I don't think this is one is going to go up either. comh really struggling. He is scrambling to put up defenses, but it's a bit too half-hearted, honestly. And that one's also going to be denied. Yet more villagers going down. It really seems like this is approaching its end here. No more water eco either for comh to kind of sustain this one and pull it back. Castle here actually did end up going up, but luckily now with the murder holes at least can defend itself somewhat. That was a good addition by comh. Seems a little bit late though. Still no answer for the champions. The janitors having countered the sling attacks, which makes this really awkward. Oh, and you have to wonder if he's now kind of a bit angry at himself, not getting a preemptive answer for the two-handed swordsman in Castle Age, or at the early imp timing where he was trying to push. That was his window in this game. And with the traps coming out now as well, he's got absolutely no units that can dive a trebuchet. I don't see him defending this castle. The stone is also a limited resource, so can't repair this one forever. Janitor raids even coming in now. Man, you know it's bad when those units start harassing your villagers. And the castle about to drop here. The repair villagers dying. 40 villagers to 106. No raids at all for the Incas to kind of make up for that eco imbalance. This should. Again, I always say should because, you know, it's still low elo gameplay here. All of us are known to be able to throw spectacularly. This should be it though. Look at the castle going down there. the lone Kammerjuk as response to the trebuchets. Probably not the most suited unit to snipe some siege. And another castle. Really, the stone bonus for the Inca is massive here. They're able to put that many more castles up, but without being able to defend them, they're not really providing any value there. Oh, would you look at that? The Kammerjuk actually was able to take out the trebuchet. Well, you never know. The double castle here. Man, look at this. That's 2 for the price of 1 if I'm the Burbus. And finally, comh throws in the towel. Gives it up here. Spiritcharged taking the 1-0 lead of the series. Excuse me. Now, I'm not actually sure what game 2 is, but we've got the draft here, so let's actually pull it up. Higher seed takes the victory in game 1. That was a stressful one, but great job keeping his calm there and actually finding really good answers to whatever the Incas were throwing at them. And you could kind of see maybe a little bit here the experience difference between these guys with being able to react and also kind of predict what the opponent might be going for. I was questioning the skirmisher opening for the Incas. I was also questioning not having an answer for the two-handed swordsman when going for their push. Either way, that was game 1. We've got 1 or 2 more to go. Let's check the draft here real quick. Com's home map is Island, so that is gotta be game 2. Now back against the wall. He's gonna have to pick up a victory there. Let's check out if he's able to do that. Whoop, whoop. Yep, that's gonna be the map. Islands. Malay versus Lithuanians. Alright, let's get right into it then, shall we? No reason to beat around the bush. As Spiritcharged with the Lithuanians on the left side here, looking to close out the series nice and early with a 2-0. Looking to stop that is comh, though, in the east, playing as the Malay. And probably going to be decently happy getting that civ for a water map. And we'll see if he's going to be able to make use of that. Speaking of which, let's pull up the civ bonuses and actually check out what we're supposed to expect from both these guys. Starting off first and foremost with the Malay for comh. Malay, of course, one of these civs that is very well known for their fishing economy. Some changes on the recent patch as well to the way that fishing and fish traps work. Mainly in terms of unit collision, though, I believe. And what is Malay known for? Well, it says it right there. It is a naval civilization, but that's not by any means everything that they can do. Advancing to the next age, 66% faster makes for, again, very surprisingly early timings. So you can use that in order to rush opponents or just go for ridiculously good FC timings. So a lot of versatility in that bonus, I find. Better fish traps is something we've already touched on, and free infantry armor upgrades are really good bonuses as well, because of course if you're going into infantry, those armor upgrades is really what you want to pick up above everything else. Other bonuses are mainly to docks, and the Imperial Age unique tech could be really good for the late game if you're then able to go into champions that don't cost any gold. On the other side, though, we've got a civ that we've seen a little bit more of in this tournament already. It's the Lithuanians, who are the main bonus. Well, the two kind of main bonuses that everybody knows them for is the additional food that you start with, very popular on water maps, because that allows you to oftentimes go for a dock way earlier than your opponent, not needing to collect as much food as early. Of course, makes that possible, but also the very notorious relic bonus that increases the attack of your latest and knights by 1 for every relic that you collect, up to 4. And of course, lacking the final attack upgrade for your cavalry, you want to at least get 2 relics every game if you're gonna go into knights. And the good thing about this map is that you always spawn with 2 relics on your island, so you're kind of guaranteed, I would say, to get that bonus at least decently utilized. Good lure coming in for the Lithuanians. Nothing to complain about there. So let's see how he plays it. Is there any other bonuses we need to talk about? Maybe not really. Just, I guess, got to highlight that this is also quite the flexible cavalry civilization latest, with the very unique aspect of ignoring opponents' armor. Can be good in certain matchups. And also Lithuanians with some bonuses actually to their trash units. You can see in Imperial Age the unique tech getting extra pierce armor, so in trash fights that is absolutely awesome. And then the faster movement speed, that's one of the default bonuses too. So in case we get to those trash stages of the game, Lithuanians always very comfortable there. Now, what are we looking at here? Both guys, 18 villagers, no real idle TC time to speak of, so the early economies have been much more smooth than previously. Actually, a Spiritcharged with interesting focus on wood here for the time being. Wonder what the intention there is. Maybe really needing to put up another building, I would assume, as another lure is being prepared. I wonder, yeah, I really do wonder what that was about. Maybe trying to get the fishing economy up and thus focusing heavily on that wood. So maybe a bit rough here, the transition, but making sure to get those fishing ships out early is always good. Same thing for the Malay. They already have 2 fishing ships collecting. Currently not making any more, but maybe also struggling with that wood bottleneck there. So yeah, both of these guys, of course, I like the priority on the fishing ships. They're doing a lot to try and get an advantage that way, which also was quite influential in the last game, if you remember. Beautiful house wall, man. Look at this one. So orderly. That's what we appreciate about these games. I really feel at home there, so to speak. Let's make sure there's actually 2 relics there for the Lithuanians, because sometimes map generation gets a bit weird. We've got the one at the back. Oh, both of them at the back here. Okay, so they're fine. One in the middle here, and then I assume 2 on Com's Island as well. Oh yeah, both of them next to each other as well. Okay, so we're all good there. Really only relevant, of course, because there's Lithuanians in this game, so you always got to double check if that distribution is good and all. Let's see. Looks like going to Feudal Age, both of these guys are going to be able to hit it around the same time. So that's exciting. Again, one of those closely matched games, it would appear. Looks like a transport ship actually coming out already. So that is going to mean early aggression out of the Malay. And that's one of the last civilizations that I would have expected this off. Are we actually going... Are we just going to the middle or something? Or are we actually going to go for a landing on the opponent's island? Because I wonder what the Malay would go into in Dark Age. Is this just like the most stock standard scout rush ever? Because the opponent has added 3 fishing ships in the time that you have added your own 2, so you're kind of behind there. No. No, is this T90? Is this T90 cosplaying like nah. Let's there's no way. Oh, come on. Scout the island. Oh, maybe this is intentional. I don't know. We'll see. Makes a house as well. Okay. He's got to realize that. Like, what is the idea here? Okay, he's going into infantry, I guess. I mean, we did see some nice bonuses for the Malay in the infantry department. Free armor upgrades, mainly. I think he's now realized that this is a small island. This transport ship doing some more scouting. Yeah, I think he's gonna... Yeah, okay, he brings the villagers over. Okay, he's realized the mistake of his ways, but man, that cost him quite some time here, and the barracks now really in an awkward spot. There's some militia here having to be left behind too. Oh, that cost him some valuable time, but Spiritcharged really not expecting this one coming, probably thinking that the Malay are just gonna opt into a fish scaling boom situation where you just sit back and relax a bit, everybody, gentleman's agreement to go to Castle Edge. No, Com is actually interested in taking it to his opponent early. And as I've said a bunch of times already in this tournament, if you're the lower seed, if you're the underdog in a series, mixing it up and going for unorthodox strategies is something I encourage. And yeah, I didn't expect it to happen in this matchup, but alright, the Malay are about to bring it on here, the one militia, making sure the island is not getting stolen. Alright, that guy is in for a very lonely summer. And I wonder, is he still gonna go for militia? He's actually getting supplies now, comms. So man-at-arms upgrade 2. He still wants this smoke. I love to see it. All right. I can't imagine this being incredibly effective because Spiritcharged is about to go up to Castle Age, and if he does, those knights are gonna absolutely obliterate the enemy men-at-arms. Because look at comh, he's ways away from Castle Age himself. This is gonna be difficult to pull off for him. I wonder, getting the blacksmith now too, maybe looking for the attack upgrade, of course, doesn't need the armor one, so at least that's a plus. Now how does he play this? Is he actually gonna go in there with regular men-at-arms? But it's really late if that is his objective. Spiritcharged again with the early fire ships looking for the enemy fish. Not finding any yet. I wonder if he saw that transport ship. That would have been big had he seen that. I don't think he's currently able to spot that. And I don't think he saw that either. Maybe he did though, because comh kind of looks like he knows what's up there. And that would be some great info to have if I'm Spiritcharged about my opponent transporting stuff over. Good to see you, Beige, in chat. Nice to have you around. Again, we're looking at a very interesting game where the Malay player was cosplaying T90 and then realized he was on the wrong island and went over and now has dropped very late men-at-arms on his opponent's island. comh is with the back against the wall here, the lower seed in the series, 1-0 down on his home map. He needs to make this count. But these men-at-arms are even going in the wrong direction for now. It's really not his day, is it? Oh, and Spiritcharged on the way to Castle Age. It's gonna take out the enemy fishing ships as well. It's really looking like our favorite is in a comfortable spot here. And this is kind of the last hope for the Malay, but really, I'd love to see the infantry too, right? But I wonder if, as Malay, you really need to do stuff like this when your fish is that famous. By the way, the Lithuanians are having a field day with this on the water. I wonder what the reaction is gonna be if he he sees the man-at-arm defending the middle island here, and the barracks as well. He's gonna be so confused. I mean, if I saw this, I would deduce that the opponent has tried to land me, and the man-at-arms are gonna come in here now. But Spiritcharged almost up to Castle Age. All he's got to do is put up a stable then and get out some knights. This surely can't be that bad for him. Men-at-arms approach him now. He's gonna get maybe a few villager picks off of this actually, because the woodlines aren't really walled off. Let's see how much damage comh can do here. Okay, he's getting a few kills. No garrison actually coming out. I wonder. Yeah, now Spiritcharged realizes what's going on. Getting a few good salvos out from the town center, putting up an archery range. I really think you can just do knights, mate. You've got 700 gold. Just a few knights I think would be enough, but of course archers also very effective at dealing with men-at-arms. Not like that's a bad choice. Water has been completely won, but it is an awkward situation going on at home here, and Spiritcharged a little bit slow here on the response for my liking. He's got a lot of villagers up north that could also be dropping a production building. Luckily the first archery range is out now, and with archers he's gonna try to stop this assault there. Let's hope he's not gonna throw away his archers one by one, because that would be scary then. The archer range is quite low already though, so might need a second production building somewhere else, and crossbowmen are being researched, so he definitely has one somewhere that I don't see. Oh, he's also landed the opponent. Would you look at that? And that's where he's researching crossbowmen. Has now lost his range. Only got one archer. Oh, that's terrible. Losing the archer and the range. Mate, this is gonna take ages to clean up now. And honestly, this is a scary number of men-at-arms here. He's kind of missed the timing here, I feel, at the start of the Castle Age, and his opponent, once he hits Castle Age, he's gonna get the upgrade, the armor upgrade there, the chainmail armor for the infantry for free. And those men-at-arms suddenly become very difficult to clean up, where I didn't think it was gonna be that big a threat earlier. Man. Yeah, this guy is really missing all the fun here. Oh boy, those villagers are all done for, aren't they? Oh, I really think Com's taking a decided lead here in this game. He's up 10 eco, even having lost all those fishing ships, which he's now rebuilding, and he's idling a large part of the opponent's eco himself. Crossbowmen coming out as a response from Spiritcharged. But this is looking difficult to deal with. Maybe even a siege workshop could have been decent here for the Lithuanians. But again, it's taken quite a while to find the correct answer to this, and he's really paying for it. Just diving underneath the town center is Comh as he's getting the longswordsman upgrade. I'm not sure he's got arson yet, but if he does, this town center might have real issues defending itself here. He's completely disregarding those crossbowmen and sends a few longswordsmen to deal with him. I really think he's about to take the game here. As weird as it sounds, this kind of delayed melee infantry rush is gonna yield him a huge profit here, taking out the enemy town center. And I feel like that should be it, if he's actually able to get this one to fall. Despite giving up the fish and despite now being raided a little bit at home as well, I don't see how Spiritcharged could be able to do comparable amounts of damage to what he's just suffered. Oh, he's losing the crossbowman to the town center too. Oh, I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. My man, Comh, he's gonna actually do it with this wonky infantry play. Huge props, man. The double barracks, just absolutely overwhelming Spiritcharged. And the tower, yeah, that's not gonna do anything. He can just stand underneath that. Oh boy, I can't believe this has worked out. Man, this guy's way better at landings and infantry rushes than I am, I guess. My Incan's attempt looking foolish in comparison to this. Wow, he's taken complete control of the opponent's island. Decent attempt to reboom on the opponent's island now for Spiritcharged, but he's just starting way too far behind in eco. This one is overmade. 40 eco difference, nah. It's just all too little too late. Man, I love this. I've never seen an infantry rush on islands work out this well. Actually, no landing on islands has worked out at all in all these tournament games that I've cast. So Comh being the first one to actually pull it off, and this effectively, I can see why he picked it as his home map. He gets the victory here. Spiritcharged, yeah. I mean, nothing to do at this point anymore. Series is actually tied. Comh has defended his home map and extended the series to a third game. And much quicker than the Nomad game, ironically, was the Islands game here. In a weird turn of events, the T90, the O2 T90 into infantry landing, completely catching Spiritcharged off guard. And what a play for the melee here. Able to actually tie up the series with that. That was a great game. Man, we're catching some bangers in this tournament. No lies here. So we're going to be transitioning here into game number 3 then, which is going to be Golden Swamp. Do I have a Golden Swamp game here? I do. I do. Okay. Let's pull up Golden Swamp then, shall we? And another very interesting matchup. Dravidians versus Italians, as the draft promises. Yup. Let me just pull that one up for you guys. And the 5th seed against the 12th in Group J, going to decider game 3. I can't tell you who's actually going to win this, because both of these games were so different, and I couldn't tell you that one guy looked decidedly better than the other one so far. So let's hope that this one brings us a clear decision here and a worthy winner. And we're gonna head into it right now. Oh yeah, maybe I was late updating the scoreboard, but this is game 3. This is game 3 coming up right now on Golden Swamp. We've seen 2 games already, and let's hope that the next one is going to be as good as the previous 2, because really, no bad games so far in this series. Good luck, have fun, love the sportsmanship too. Interesting type of map setup with a very thin lake actually between the 2 players, and the gold kind of off to the side completely, which sometimes tends to be the case, but rarely as extreme as here. So really close together, these 2 guys, with lots of water in between them. Let's see how they are both gonna be playing that. And again, on paper, there should be a clear favorite here. Spiritcharged, the way higher seed on his home map. Italians, let's see if that's actually good Civ here, I'm not sure. I haven't explored the Golden Swamp meta fully. All I know is that this has been my favorite map in the tournament so far. Pleasure to play and pleasure to watch almost every time. So it's gonna be awesome. Let's dive into it then. On the right side, at least on the top here, on the scoreboard, we've got Spiritcharged Italians. Decent naval civ as well, so maybe gonna be happy with that type of hybrid map here. They've got a bunch of bonuses here. The cheaper uptimes, super good if you want to go into rushes, super good if you would want to just boom. Again, another one of these flexible bonuses that are useful in every single game, no matter how you play. Cheaper dock and university tax makes tax switches easy, makes going into water play easy and cheaper, and should make it possible to win most of the early game water fights as well. Cheaper gunpowder stuff is decent later on, of course, and in terms of other bonuses, nothing major to speak of, I don't think. Trade not relevant here, and yeah, that's the Italians for you guys. Genoese crossbows are rather a situational unique unit, but look at this. Wow, that scout just barely not able to make it out of there, and that's a big early edge for the underdog here. Let's hope that kind of lifts his spirits a bit after the great performance in game 2. Getting the early scout pick here on the opponent's home map. He might be starting a miracle run here. Rooting for him as well, of course, and the Dravidians on the left side. Let's check out their bonuses as well, shall we? More obscure civ that doesn't see a lot of, well, as much play, both with the pros and on the ladder, I don't think. Also with some naval bonuses though, so definitely quite well suited for this map, I would assume. 200 wood on advance to the next age is absolutely massive when you're playing water, especially in the feudal age. 200 extra wood to start the feudal age. You guys know how much you can do with that. That's a ton of warships. Could also be an extra dock for free. Could also be a military building. So it's a very flexible bonus once more. Extra carry capacity on fishing ships is so good. On farmers, you know, it follows the same logic as on land with the farmers, right? Farmers who have to walk a long ways to drop off their stuff. The more they carry, the more efficient they become. It's that much more important for fishing ships. This is a really good eco bonus, guys. Cheaper barracks cost is decent if you want to go into infantry, of course, which seems to be the meta. And judging by his last game, Com might be somewhat of an infantry aficionado. Cheaper siege is decent, and faster firing skirmishers and elephant archers. Not sure that's gonna be playing a huge role here. Other than that, some attack bonuses to their military that I'm not gonna go into in detail. Just wanted to highlight how good the water play was for the Dravidians, both in terms of the economy with the fishing ships and the wood bonus that can just supercharge them at the start of especially the feudal age. So, focusing on the game now, we already have quite high villager numbers here, 19 apiece for these 2 guys, although it's actually Spiritcharged who's put up the first dock and started fishing ship production. He's not picked up his buffalo though, and we've seen this quite a lot on this map, that people don't exploit all of their food options early on. The berries typically being taken later than on other maps. No deers being pushed here. We oftentimes don't even see both boars being lured. So there's just an abundance of food on this map. And that's a dream mill. Look at this for the Dravidians. You've got the deer and the berries right next to each other. Decent spot for Com, who's actually already walling. So maybe he's actually trying to take a slower approach here and kind of just wanting to go up to Castle Age. I would really love to see him turn up the pressure early on in Feudal Age, though, at least on water, because of the aforementioned wood bonus that they receive. Fishing ship economy already in for the Italians. I think you'd really want to contest that water, otherwise that's a lot of resources that you give honor over for free. And having won that scout war earlier, you should have the priority in the early game. So I'm not really agreeing with the lack of water play and the walling up and not moving out at all. Let's see if that ends up paying off for the Dravidian player here, though. Both of these guys with just south of a minute of idle TC time. Nothing major really, and no real difference in between them. Really, what sets them apart for now is just that fishing eco that Spiritcharged has been able to put up. And we can see the clear direction of Com's play here. Going up to Feudal Age later, he wants a castle. He wants a fast castle, and just walling himself in here, which is always very possible on this map, right? Those wood lines always protecting you a lot. This is actually one of the more open Golden Swamp maps, believe it or not. But he's going to be able to get a relatively safe fast castle. I just dare to doubt if that is actually the most efficient play on this map. Spiritcharged, at the other hand, he's fishing with his ships undisturbed, already in Feudal Age, and he might be well off actually checking if the opponent has gone onto water, which he hasn't done so far. Losing that scout really costs him a lot of information. Let's check what he actually sees looking at the map. Oh, it's nothing really. Look at this. He's just walked over to the opponent. I think he didn't expect his opponent to be this close and thus wasn't prepared to micro the scout when he lost it. Getting the double bit axe and the horse collar now. That is a bit of an early one. I don't like the early horse collar here. I don't think you need that many farms, really, if you've got the fishing economy up, a second dock even. In case of instead of grabbing that second horse collar, might have been better off actually grabbing his buffalo there. Honestly, would have preferred that kinda. Come now with the idle scout a bit, also grabbing that double bit axe, and it's gonna take him quite a while to get up to Castle Age. Actually, I was expecting him to go for a straight fast castle, but he's now going for a man-at-arms play in Feudal Age. Going to stumble onto this fire ship now, and he's gonna lose those units if he's not careful. Oh, I don't like him. This is a bad fight to take. You shouldn't be taking that fight. Oh no, you're giving away so much HP on your swordsman, on your man-at-arms here. That's another one going down. Poor Com, you gotta pay attention here. I really think Spiritcharged should take that fight while he can. Because you can always repair that ship afterwards. He might be expecting more enemy units to come in though. I don't think he realizes, or I don't think he's trusting how free that is. But picks up the unit now, and that's half of those men-at-arms already gone. Gotta feel bad for Com as he makes a fifth one here. Man, he's trying to be aggressive, but I don't think he's playing into the strength of his civilization well. He's walled fully up, but he's not going for a fast castle. He's Dravidians, but he's not going for any water play. He's got that extra wood. He's not making anything that costs wood. Well, of course he's dropping buildings and walls, so he has used up his wood, but he has not used his wood in order to advance to the next age quickly, or in order to put up military pressure. So that's kind of what I'm unhappy about. Spiritcharged really controlling the entirety of this water. Has stopped at 2 fire galleys. I love to see that. Gotta make sure if the opponent actually is on water before going heavily into warships, into navy. So there's a good choice there, and he's really cost efficient with his stuff. Minimal investment into water, and it's yielding him maximum results for now. He's not even walled up yet at home. He's got a lot on gold. Probably was expecting to have to make a lot more a lot more fishing ships that or a lot more warships, excuse me, than he ended up needing. And thus is kind of sitting on a lot of gold right now. Rather not throw away the ship. Good micro there, actually getting in damage without dying. Losing another 2 water buffaloes now, but is probably going to be able to recapture them. There he goes, that's good for him. Oh, there's a gap there. I don't think he realized this, but again, the man-at-arms in his eco, that's gotta feel terrible. In the deciding game, a little bit of a sleeping moment here. And he's gonna lose 2 villagers there. That's already more than enough. 2 villagers for 2 men-at-arms. You're happy with that trade if you're comm. You're not happy losing your reinforcements though. This is not the trade you want. At least he's gonna get that 1 fire ship, just barely. Okay. But so far, again, Spiritcharged isn't really walled. He isn't investing a whole lot into water either. But he's getting away with this. And both players actually relatively close to Castle Age now. Comm has just clicked up. And Spiritcharged with a little bit of market usage could click up as well, although doesn't have the market up just yet, I don't think. He's still now with this archers actually trying to take out the enemy men-at-arms. I hope he realizes that he also needs to go up to the next age though, because the archers are fine and all, but if your opponent isn't sending anything, your archers are also not gonna find a whole lot. I don't think he knows that the opponent is fully walled, otherwise, yeah, might not go that heavily into archers. Gonna take out the last remaining man-at-arm though, so he's got full control over the middle now. Actually, there is a side villager here for the Dravidians. Looks like Comm is looking to drop a forward, and he's again gonna go into Longswordsman, I believe. That is quite promising here. This map is easily wallable though, so if Spiritcharged steps it up here, he's already plugged that hole, but if he completely walls himself in there at home, should be fine. Still not up to Castle Age though, so he's going to be very late there. And he's going to need a few more archers maybe to defend against the incoming flood of Longswordsmen that I'm expecting here at least. Has now clicked up to the Castle Age himself. But man, this could be kind of the breaking point of the game here, as Comm is going to try to leverage his early Castle Age into some advantages. Again, gonna get 200 free food, remember, for advancing to the next age. That's gonna somewhat remedy or salvage the eco situation. Is putting up another barracks here. That's gonna be like 20 longswordsmen in a second there. Believe me, guys. He's already putting out men-at-arms. He's getting forging. He's getting the upgrades. There's the upgrade. Using the home barracks to upgrade as well. Okay, I love to see it. All he's got is barracks, really. He doesn't even have any other production buildings. Looks like the archers are trying to break in, but that's Castle Age palisade walls. They aren't breaking all that fast. Let's hope Comm realizes this. Otherwise, this is gonna be lots of villager kills. And he does. Good job putting out those house walls. Although, good reaction by Spiritcharged as well, actually. Man, those house walls may need to be put a bit more behind. Oh, this isn't necessary. Oh, I don't think this watchtower was needed. For Comm. Not the hugest fan of that. Now getting pressured at the front as well. I think there's a bit of an overreaction. The house walls were fine as they were. Both of them now up to Castle Age. And Spiritcharged has bought himself some time, but is completely open at home. And he's trying to go forward into the middle, actually dropping the town center there, but I don't think this is a good play. He doesn't know about this, of course, so I'm not blaming him for doing that, but he's got to make sure he's protected at home. And that's already 11 longswordsmen, and probably still more coming in, although the food economy is kind of bottlenecking Comm at this point. No fishing ships really costing him. And actually, he is the one going to be pressured at home, and that's way late on the stone walls, actually. Oh boy, is it actually Spiritcharged that is going to be able to inflict heavy casualties? Just barely able to put up those stone walls in time. But for how long are they going to last? The man gonna push to the side. Oh, Comm. Poor guy, he doesn't know that there's no full walls. Oh man, he really thinks that it's still all covered up, but he's gonna find out now. Let's hope he reroutes on those men-at-arms. Man, there's a gap down here as well. He could get into the enemy base in the south. He doesn't exploit it though. Oh boy. I don't think he's paying the perfect attention here, and I really think Spiritcharged needs to do extreme amounts of damage now, or pull those crossbowmen back home. Otherwise, those longswordsmen are likely to be able to crush him. There's no more of them coming in though, luckily, so maybe Spiritcharged is going to be able to sustain this one. Has lost a few villagers already though. EcoKD 8-3 in favor of comh, and he's in with the longswordsmen, although he's taken way longer than he needed to. Man, that could have been devastating had he gone in there a little bit earlier. Just a little bit. He's got the gambesons in already as well, so the crossbowmen are going to struggle against these men-at-arms. Although in these numbers, this is still a winning fight for Spiritcharged. He's got fletching, and that's all he needs. Fletching, and 16 crossbowmen is going to be able to beat back 10 enemy longswordsmen with gambesons. And also just feudal age upgrades, so I think Spiritcharged shouldn't panic yet. It feels like he's going to be able to do this, although the mangonels are really scary. He's gonna need to pull off some high-low micro if he wants to win these. Although, maybe no micro needed if your spearman is just for free taking out the mangonels. Oh boy, let's hope these crossbowmen don't get sniped here. Slow reaction from comh. Oh man, he's not gonna be happy about this one. He loses the mangonels for free. And I think his raid is going to be very underwhelming when it's all said and done. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to find a whole lot of damage there. And despite the extreme tankiness of these longswordsmen comparatively, they're going to be slowly picked up. Although I really expected a reaction out of Spiritcharged here. He's not putting away those villagers, so he's still losing a ton. Way more than he needed to. Alright, so I have to take that one back. The raid was still very successful, although it is going to be cleaned up sooner rather than later. That was a very worthwhile one. Good job by comh. The best thing about his gameplay so far is really that he's always being aggressive on all three of these maps. And 50% of the time that's yielded him a victory. He's gonna need to get one more of those if he wants to advance in the tournament. Oh man. Spiritcharged in chat admitting that his walling isn't exactly excellent. Maybe he's gonna get punished for this one here. Armored elephants out of the Dravidians. Wow, that is an interesting choice. Because the crossbowmen are gonna take days in order to take those ones out. There's no way you're gonna take those out with just crossbowmen. I don't like the way he's deploying them though. You need to send them into the town centers, to anything but the houses, because that is the least damage you could possibly do with your elephants right now. So both of these guys, not with a perfect decision making rather, but I like that they both have plans that they follow. And now the crossbowmen, that is 17. All of them are gonna need to fire 10 shots and hit them in order to take out such an elephant. And again, the attempt is gonna be made to take out the crossbowmen with mangonels. Good first shot, bang, that is 5 of them already gone, I believe. A huge second shot, actually. Wow, this is much better mangonel micro than the first time around, actually. And if comh stays active here, he's going to be able to clean up all of this stuff here. Another shot comes in. Oh boy, 2 armored elephants still alive here, and the mangonels making it absolutely impossible for Spiritcharged crossbowmen and pikemen, really, to step up. I want to see another army of longswordsmen, and they come in. Perfect army composition right now for comh. This is really good choice. 3 mangonels, 10 longswordsmen, and 3 armored elephants. I don't see anything that Spiritcharged can do in order to stop this. The only thing would be to out-micro with the crossbowmen. He's done a good job sniping one of the mangonels. Big shot on the crossbowman though. Wonder why the villager is up in here, man. This woman wanted to get front seats for the battle. I hope she's happy with what she's got, and that's a pike up the arse. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a shot into the crossbowman. He's really got to step up his micro here, otherwise this game might be over rather soon. Are we gonna see another upset here in Group J? comh not paying attention. He's gotta make sure those mangonels stay alive, but he's gonna lose them again, isn't he? He's brought the longswordsmen. That's why I wanted the longswordsmen to come in alongside the mangonels, but he's not using them. He's not paying attention there. I think both of these mangonels might be going down here, guys. He's not looking right now. Oh, it's difficult. Both these guys kind of scrambling here and having some troubles with their army control. That's of course expected. in these groups. My games weren't looking much different here, to be frank with you. Mangonel now as a response to the enemy Mangonels, but that one is gonna fall as well if another strike comes in, and it does. Ballista Elephant, or the Elephant Archers rather, I don't think are really necessary here, but I guess they're doing a fine job against the Archers. I would just like to see him stick with the plan that he had. Mangonels, Longswordsman, Armored Elephant. You could take out the entire enemy base with that. That really would be all you need. Even the fish being put up here on the side for comm is diversifying his eco. I love to see that as well. Mangonel, again, might just be taken out by 2 Longswordsmen. It's so difficult to keep Mangonels alive if you don't have any infantry protecting them. And that's not where the Italians strive, per se. Loses the Mangonel again. It's not like comm's army control, or the value he's getting out of it is much better though. As finally the siege workshop is taken out for the Italians. They really don't have a lot left to work with here. Comm's eco at home completely untouched, but he's only now realized that this is not the spot to drop your castle, my mate. Or maybe a bit over eager there. He's for my liking, he's fighting too many fronts at once. Spiritcharged has not proven to have an answer to his push in the base. I really think comm should have committed to that. Instead, he's kind of trying to go for the fancy in the middle, which I don't think was necessary. Sending more villagers out to the west, maybe trying to put up another dock over here, or a second forward base to try and get more army onto his opponent. A castle drop actually here. I think this is again too fancy. I don't think he needs to get this creative, but fair enough. If it goes up, it's gonna be massive. So let's see if he's gonna be able to pull this one off. Another fight with the Mangonels. Good attention here by Spiritcharged. Let's hope comm's not taking out his own longswordsman. Alright, it's weird though. It's weird, definitely. The crossbowmen are many, and thus not able to be taken out by mere infantry. Mangonel shots! Oh no! Alright, please move those crossbows! Oh, step up, channel your inner Hera! Oh! Alright, that was not what you wanted to see there, if you were rooting for those Italians. 16 crossbowmen. The kills on these Mangonels, 17 kills actually. Alright, maybe time to reset a bit here for Spiritcharged. Build up those crossbows again. Think about a different unit to maybe throw in there against the Mangonels. I think he's looking to get more siege units underway. Alright. He's trying to get going again with siege workshops. I don't think he's realized this castle going up just yet, although it's starting to shoot his villagers now. What's the response going to be? You need to get off this wood line, my mate. Alright, he's realized this quite fast actually, not losing a lot of villagers. That's just 4 of them going down. I think that is manageable. The pressure is immense. What I like about comm's gameplay is that with minimal APM, he is forcing maximum APM out of his opponent. I hope that made sense. But basically, the moves that he's making doesn't require him to be super precise or have great attention there. He's just putting up the castle, and that's permanent pressure on that side. He's putting longswordsmen on the one and clicking the gathering point into the enemy village. That takes care of itself as well. This could be a big Mangonel shot. Wow, okay, he's getting a 1-for-1 out of that, plus some extra damage, not the worst trade. But he's now fighting 3 Mangonels with his crossbows again, and just barely able to pull back here. Botkin arrow really doing work for him, but it's still difficult. Oh no, that's yet more crossbowmen going to be slain by the Mangonel shots. Absolute horror for him. He's bringing more Mangonels of his own here, but it's the same old story. The longswordsmen are just gonna tear you apart. Good job on getting at least a 1-for-1 out of that. And now the crossbowmen are able to finally do some work. No ballistics is also costing him quite a lot though, taking ages to clean up the longswordsmen. And while these traits sometimes are better for comm, sometimes are better for Spiritcharged, the fact remains Spiritcharged is scrambling to keep any semblance of an eco intact, while comm is still expanding at home. So he's getting ahead here, even if he's not able to push really. At least his eco is being untouched. and the worker efficiency might not actually show for it right now. But what I'm saying is he's able to always farm peacefully while his opponent is having a huge trouble cleaning up the army in his village. I love the fighting spirit though. In later games, 90% of players would have tapped out by now already, but we're in a tournament game here, a decider nonetheless. So if you're spirit charged, you need to find one golden move to get back into this one. Although I'm not sure if it's really there for him right now. Let's see if he's got any answers left. Bunch of crossbowmen now again, trying to find the kills on the longswords. Man, it's looking tough. The opponent has been booming all this time. Not really amazingly quick, because he's invested a lot of food into this army, of course. But 30 villager lead. The score lead is 2000 as well, and he's got most of the map control. At least Spiritcharged has the middle, but alright, with the Karambits now even coming in and pushing from the north, it's looking much harder with every minute passing by. Is this gonna be it for Spiritcharged? There's barely any base left for him. 14 crossbows is all. He's got 20 more in queue, but just crossbows doesn't look like that's gonna be the answer and the solution here. He calls it! I can understand why. He's been losing ground for 20 minutes now. And that was an upset if I've ever seen one. Made the reverse sweep on the opponent's home map, starting off with that scout kill that he got. Managing, even without early fishing ships, to surprise Spiritcharged there with the longswordsman in the castle age. And the lack of walls for the Italians. I loved the start, but then really not able to ever stabilize after those raids begun. Infantry raids are one of the most infuriating things once they have begun, actually. And you can see why here. Com takes the series. That is amazing. This guy, actually, to the 12th seed, able to advance to round 2 here. Huge congrats to him. And this was definitely gotta be a top 5 series so far in terms of entertainment value. I would even say this might have been the least entertaining game out of these 3. And this was a really good one, wasn't it? I mean, was it really nice. Spiritcharged in chat. I'll just read the message for the YouTube guys. He says, he was very disappointed with how he played that set. Nomad was okay, but the last 2 maps just felt he played way below what he's able to do. Tourney games are tough. Really, you don't get any do-overs, that's the thing. He's absolutely right there. So, once those infantry raids start coming in, you really need to know what the answer is there. And you need to be quick on your feet. Was almost able to actually get in there with his archer mass at the same time and start a comparable type of raiding endeavor. But made, he was just a bit too open at home, and I really think on this map you don't need to invest a lot into walling, but you gotta be just super cynical and say, fine, if I just wall myself in this, my opponent won't find a way to harass me. Now that's worked against some people as well, if you guys remember. We've seen people just go for palisades walls super early and then not care about their defense, and enemy knight raids, especially when we've seen Khmer or Berber play or something like that on this map. They've been very successful breaking through the palisades with knights and devastating the eco. But I really think you gotta take advantage of these tight forests here and wall up nice and early. And this was a good example for as to why. Yeah, credit to Com as well. It was good series from this guy. He's really been able to show off his strengths here, which presumably is infantry play. Early transition into man-at-arms really, and then longswordsmen. A bit rough in some of these dark ages, I gotta say, but the main focus of his gameplay has always been to get onto the enemy early and persistently, and that's won him 2 of these games here. Thus, a deserved victor in round 1 of bracket J. Shout out to him and to Spiritcharged as well, of course, for sticking around in Twitch chat here. And that's gonna be sadly everything that I can get you guys today. I think I'll cast another series tomorrow, most likely. Although the show match is tomorrow, so everybody make sure to watch the show match May 3rd, Wednesday. I think 4 p.m. Greenwich time, so that would be 6 p.m. Central Europe, for example. Make sure to check the Discord announcements. Probably on Daniela's Twitter, there might be an announcement as well. Doubt versus Sito is going to be our show match for this tourney, so everybody make sure to get over to Daniela's channel for that show match. But that's going to be it for me today. It was great everybody joining me here, and yeah, I'll see. I'll close it out here, I think. Is there... Yeah, we've got everything done here, and yeah, thanks for joining me. Casting again tomorrow. Make sure not to miss that show match. I'll see you all in the Discord.